For centuries, Britain profited from human bondage while calling itself a nation of laws, liberty, and fairness. Slavery wasn't a secret, it was openly defended. So why did a society famous for reform take so long to condemn something so morally obvious? Our composite figure today is a Liverpool merchant. His ledger is meticulous. Ships, cargo, insurance, human lives. Every entry balanced profit and risk. Slavery is business. It fuels the sugar plantations, the cotton mills, the port towns. It's morally complicated, but financially irresistible. Britain grows wealthy. Ports flourish. Banks and insurance companies thrive. And politicians whose constituencies benefit from this wealth turn a blind eye. Profit, it seems, is a stubborn lens. English law doesn't explicitly regulate slavery in Britain itself, but it fiercely protects property rights. Slave owners overseas are shielded. Merchants are free to trade. Courts uphold contracts. Ships are insured. Insurance companies thrive. Morality is secondary. Economics and law converge to defend the system. To challenge it is to challenge Britain's own commercial backbone. The merchant records a cargo of 300 souls. In his mind, he notes risk, not humanity. The law reinforces his logic, and the public largely agrees, if they profit too. Which raises a disturbing question: when does law justify injustice? Defenders argue slavery is natural. Africans are inferior. Work must be coerced. The church often participates. Some sermons depict slavery as divinely sanctioned. British culture frames resistance as irrational. Enlightenment philosophers debate liberty, yet many explicitly exclude enslaved people from their moral universe. Even reformers must contend with a culture where economic logic, law, and ideology all defend bondage. And when everyone benefits, who speaks for the oppressed? Voyage logs, ships' diaries, and letters describe misery, disease, abuse, resistance, and rebellion. Rebellion is punished brutally. The merchant's ledger records profit. Rarely does it note death. Rarely even despair. This mechanical detachment allows a society to tolerate horror. But abolitionist observers begin to write. Quakers, journalists, sailors, former slaves. Their voices pierce the ledger, the law, and public complacency. Yet moral outrage alone isn't enough to topple the system. Britain's economy is entwined with slavery. Sugar, tobacco, cotton. Imported goods sustain consumption, finance, and employment. Ports, shipbuilders, bankers, and insurance underwriters all profit. Ending slavery is seen as a threat to national prosperity. Politicians warn economic collapse, unemployment, instability. The merchant isn't cruel, he's practical. To question slavery is to question his livelihood. To question the system is to question Britain itself. How then does moral clarity ever overcome economic interest? Abolitionists emerge in the late 18th century. Quakers, evangelicals, writers like Olaudah Equiano, Thomas Clarkson, and Granville Sharp. Pamphlets, petitions, boycotts, moral pressure, public lectures, graphic images of suffering. Parliament listens reluctantly at first. This is where history teaches a crucial lesson. Change is never just legal. It's cultural, economic, and ethical all at once. Let me pause here. When a society profits from injustice, what motivates it to reform? Personal conscience? Pressure from outsiders? I'd love to know your thoughts. Leave a comment. Because public opinion becomes the engine of legal change. Abolition progresses in stages. 1807, the slave trade is outlawed. Ships can no longer legally transport enslaved Africans. 1833, slavery itself is abolished in most of the British Empire. Compensation is paid, not to the enslaved, but to the owners. Britain recognises justice reluctantly and on its own terms. The merchant's ledger is rewritten, figuratively and legally. Britain changes, but the moral calculus lingers. The economy that defended slavery is not punished. Those enslaved are freed, and the consequences echo far beyond British shores. Britain defended slavery for centuries, not because people were uniquely evil, but because morality clashed with the law, economics, and ideology. Profit, property, and prejudice combined to sustain injustice. Only persistent advocacy, public awareness, and economic adaptation overturned the system. Today we inherit the legal and cultural consequences. Wealth built on bondage, moral debates unfinished, lessons of complicity still relevant. Understanding this history doesn't excuse the past. It equips us to question systems that tolerate injustice in our own time. Thanks for walking a little further down the road that made Britain with me. If you liked it, there's a button especially for that down there. And if you liked it and subscribe, there's a whole back catalogue for you to enjoy, including this one that YouTube's chosen especially for you. I think you'll like it. So until next time, take care, and I'll see you soon.